Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast, and it's been a fun week because we've been asking about your weirdest
fears.
And yeah,
we have learned that we all have them, and you really brought it. We have some text coming in. This is, hey, Jodi and the guys.
Hey.
On the note of strange fears, I wanted to share that I've always had an uneasy feeling about dragonflies. Since I was little, I felt they're a bad omen or something.
Huh.
I don't run screaming when I see them, but I've never understood why some people love them.
I thought they were good luck.
I don't know anything about them, about that.
I guess it depends on your experience with them. I actually had one bite me one time. I was holding it, and that was weird. And
Really?
If you ever look at them close, the eyes, their faces are a little freaky.
When you look at them closely, they are freaktastic.
Yeah.
Did it draw
Correct.
blood, by the way, when it bit you?
I don't think so. I don't remember. I just remember holding on to it. I mean, I think it bit me. Maybe it was just his legs
You
were
just
sticky
probably
or something.
crumbled it or something. That was from Michelle, by the way.
That's not something you walk around telling people.
Yeah.
They're not very impressed. I got bit by a dragonfly. Right.
Anyway, Michelle says, LOL about the dragonflies. Just want to share. Thanks for making my mornings great. For all
Thank
you guys
you.
do. Thank you for that.
Got one here from Lori. Lori says, E.T. I can't even look at him. I hate E.T.
Aww.
Well, and see, I wonder if that's one of those that, like Jodi was saying, at childhood. If it scares you when you're young, then later on it sticks.
And
I mean, I
everyone's
know,
different, though.
I mean, E.T. really was. It was. And when the movie came out, I never was creeped out by him, but it was a little weird to see on the
He
screen.
wasn't pretty. I mean,
Right. No,
skinny
but
neck and a big head.
It's about what was inside.
Yes.
He was precious. And I
Hmm.
cried like a baby in the movie theater at the end of the movie. My grandmother was sitting next to me, and I think she was mortified. She was like, oh, my God, you can't even take this kid anywhere. Tracy sent, I'm 40 years old, and I have a fear of broken glass. I can't touch it. I don't drink out of a glass. When I was 5, I stepped on glass and almost cut my toe off. Understandable, Tracy.
Totally, I get that. I understand that.
Understandable. It's not weird.
You know, and the clean up broken glass trick, remember, which we learned here years ago. It was somebody who, called us about that, is use duct tape to pick up the shards. And I mean,
Gets it all.
works. It works perfectly. You can use masking tape if you want to. It's a lot safer than trying to drag a cloth or your hand or something. Yeah.
Even with a broom, you don't ever
Splinters.
get it all. And some of it
Correct.
sticks to the broom, and then
Right.
there it goes on your floor again.
Yeah. So Polly says, this is kind of weird, but then again, these are weird.
Weird fears.
Alligators on motorcycles. I had a dream once about them. I know that it's not realistic,
Aw.
but still. She hates grasshoppers, not dragonflies.
Aw.
Growing up
Polly.
at her house, they were at the end of a long lane,
Mm-hmm.
and the school bus would drop us off at one end, and she had to run for the house.
Oh, she was at the long end of the. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she didn't like the sticky legs.
Grasshoppers.
You know, praying mantises are like that, too. They just look so
Something about the
freaky.
movements.
Yeah, like they don't belong on this planet.
Well, the other one it's not a weird fear, but it does freak me out a little bit. Walking sticks.
Yeah, same thing.
Those
Oh,
are freaky. I do
yeah.
not like those at all.
Yeah. One of the most beautiful things I think that we have learned this week and came up a couple of times, especially for children who have an odd fear, is that the best thing that you can do is honor it.
Mhm.
You should honor that. If you're not afraid of dragonflies, so what? Their fear is real, and you need to honor it. And I think that's something beautiful, because I can remember being around adults when I was a child who thought, if they weren't scared of it, you shouldn't have been scared of it. And so that's not honoring your fear. It's actually, denying it.
Yeah, it's a shame when
happened.
when a parent tells a child something like that. For example, in fact, my mom, I remember her saying she wasn't my dad was a big prankster, but my dad would never prank anybody in a way that would hurt them. And that was one thing that they taught us, is that you don't prank somebody when you know it's a genuine fear. And so I learned that at an early age, because that really is, that's borderline bullying, right? If you prank somebody on their
Of course it
fears,
is.
because they can't control it.
Okay, Jodi, you're looking at me. Okay. No, but are you definitely, is that a real fear? Rubber snakes? I mean, rubber roaches? Or roaches
No,
in
I'm
general?
not really afraid of it. You have scared me with it. The one thing that you have, being a prankster, Sam, that you have stopped doing, and I'm grateful for it, is you stopped scaring me. The whole just
Jump scares.
I like not knowing he's behind you, and then you used to do that years ago when we first started working together.
Around the
and
corner.
I do not like that.
Yeah.
So you haven't done that in years. So thank you.
Well, this is great, so I can keep up the rubber roaches.
Sure. Whatever.
Awesome.
Daniel says he doesn't like the quiet. He's got to have something in the background even when he sleeps. Jodi and I do too. It's not a fear. We just like it. I can't be in a room that's 100% quiet because it freaks me out.
Oh, Daniel, again, we honor that.
Well, you know,
You
they
be you.
say, and Sam, you will probably remember the term because I can't remember it. It's an anechoic chamber. There's
echo. It's the thing that has no sound.
There is zero sound whatsoever,
Oh.
and that's where they test. Electronics get tested in those rooms. It's literally pure silence, and they say if you're in that room, the sensory deprivation will be
drive
too
you
much for
crazy.
you.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly.
drive
Isn't
you
that
nuts.
weird?
Fascinating.
So I get the silence thing, and for me, I don't ever really have complete silence now, thanks to tinnitus, which is just the weirdest. Oh, you were thinking,
Right, tinnitus.
you thought I was going to say since Jody's mom moved in. No, that's not, and her mom doesn't
hasn't
live with
moved
us.
in
I know that.
yet.
I thought it was all going to be laid on Jody.
Yeah, no, but the tinnitus thing is just weird. I'd always heard people having it, and I don't know if this was a COVID thing for me. I had COVID, and after I came out of that, I lost my sense of taste. It came back, and then my ears started ringing. But anyway, but I hear that constantly now. It's usually loud enough to be over even loud noises in a restaurant.
Really?
Yeah. But then
I hate that
because
for
it's
you.
constant, if I stop and focus on it, I hear it. But if I don't focus on it, it kind of
It's like
goes
you got
away.
used to it.
Yeah, but it's weird. So I bet now if I had, because I don't really ever get complete silence. So if I did,
I'm sorry.
I know. Sam, you
Wait,
keep
wait,
doing
wait,
the
Sam.
same thing.
He doesn't. He out of the two of us at home, I'm the more quiet one. He talks. He walks from one room to the next and tells you what he's doing, play by play.
That's because he's got to drown out the tinnitus.
Exactly. Or me. I don't know. Or my mother.
There's another Jody here on, not you, Jody.
To our Facebook page.
Yeah, wind turbines. No idea why. Just can't look at them.
Oh.
So she's talking about the big propeller-looking things that are out in
On
the
wind farms?
Yeah, and wind farms that generate electricity.
When you think about this, to be a human being is to have fear, about things. And obviously, we're all different and we all have different fears. But man, Stephen King is in the right business, isn't
Yeah.
he? Because he touches on
Yeah.
all of it at
Yeah, you're
some
right.
point and some place.
We
He's
oughta-
never going to go out of business, nor will that.
We got to send this whole list to Stephen King. We could probably get a couple books out of this.
He doesn't need it.
Go
Go to any bookstore or go online and see all of his books touch on those things.
Yeah.
I got one here from Laura. Laura says, I'm very afraid of outer space.
Oh, I might be a little afraid of outer space.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, you're probably not going to, but
No, I'm absolutely not going to.
That sounds like a human thing. If you're not afraid of it, it is something you can't really wrap your head around, that there is infinite whatever out there, that there is no end to the universe. If you get in
Doesn't-
that
it
sort
would
of
swallow
mental
you
state,
up.
it's kind of weird. I guess I can understand that.
My friend Jerry Ann has a daughter. She has 3 daughters, but one of her daughters is afraid of large spaces. Like if she were to walk into a gymnasium or a stadium, but she was the only person in it, that would flip her out. She could be in there with thousands of people, but a big room where she's
that's just
it's odd.
amazing.
Open
though.
spaces.
I mean, dragonflies, open spaces.
I'm telling you, it's just the
wow.
psychology of our minds and
Yeah.
what some things delight us and other things we're afraid of.
Julie says, Jody, you'll like this one. Driving next to a semi truck.
Oh, I'm afraid of that.
Here,
Well,
wait. I was told when I was a kid that the tires could explode and kill you.
oh, I wonder if that's true.
So here's the thing.
No, it
What-
can't be true, right?
They can
What,
explode.
what they're saying, it's the retreads. So
Mm.
truck tires are very expensive. So sometimes they get retreaded, right? Which means that extra layer
Patched
of rubber
almost.
on the outside. And if that comes a loose,
See, you're not helping
like my
me.
grandmother used to say. No.
I reckon you're in some trouble.
Right, and I actually saw that the other day, and I've actually had a piece of that hit my car before. One of my first cars that I was in, the tread came off at the truck in front of me. It went everywhere, and one piece just slapped right on the top of my car, scratched the car.
And it's got a steel belt in it, too.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Maybe that's what scratched it. And then, they tend to kind of obliterate into a million pieces if a tire blows. But I'm sure it's happened. I've never seen anybody be killed by that. But if the thing is like if it blows up in the middle of the road, I
That's
get
scary.
that. I do understand that.
I've thought of that before. I'm not afraid of semis, but I've thought of that before because when you're in a low car and you're just right like 3 feet from
Or even
a
in a
bunch
high
of
car, it
tires
doesn't matter. You're
riding
so
past them,
close. Yeah.
it's like if that blows right now, it's coming through my window.
It's to me, it's the speed, it's how close they are. And I know you won't believe me, Murphy. It's not just when I'm a passenger. When I'm driving
Yeah.
and you're not with me and that happens, that's next to me, I do not feel secure.
Yeah.
I feel very vulnerable. I get nervous talking about it.
I'm always cautious, but I think for me, it's about respect, the fact that how much the truck weighs. And the thing is, I realize not every profession has those who are not as good as others, but most truck drivers, because of the training that they've had,
I know it.
can do amazing. And they're better drivers than the average person in a car. Right?
Us zipping around them.
Yeah. And because, I watched these 18-wheelers in food service somehow back into these tiny streets and driveways to get to restaurants, and I'm thinking I could never do that.
Yeah.
So,
Correct.
but I do understand.
I could never drive one of those either. No way.
Gingy on our Facebook page says lightning.
Hi, Gingy. I love your name.
That's a beautiful name. Lightning and thunder. That's
Yes.
common. I bet you it's a 50-50 split on that. Me, I love the sound of it. I love the sound of
Well, it
thunder.
depends
It's
on
soothing.
if you're outside. No.
Yeah.
If you're inside, cozy and safe, that's when you love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it catches you off guard outside, that's different.
Well, I guess, don't they say you're 3 times more likely to be struck by lightning than you are to win the lottery or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess that means don't stand outside with a lottery ticket in your hand. Maybe. Jessica says birds.
My mom was afraid of birds. I bet you didn't know that, Murphy.
I bet you I know why, actually, because your mom is younger than my parents were, but because of the movie The Birds that came out in the 60s, the Alfred Hitchcock movie, my mom always had not a total bird thing fear, but groups of birds when they were together freaked her out. But that was pop culture, I guess, from the 1960s.
Right. In the same way that we're afraid of clowns, they say because of pop culture.
Right.
Pop culture has given us the scary clown and just won't stop.
Yeah.
A lot of these I've seen. Sherry's got one, spiders and snakes.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. And Kimberly, spiders and dolls.
I told you guys this before. My grandmother, who was a preacher's wife, a minister's wife, and she was really up on the word, if you know what I mean.
The word of the Bible.
God.
Okay. Right.
She always said, you're supposed to be afraid of snakes. Go to Genesis. You were supposed to be afraid of snakes because a serpent was the devil.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Genesis or no Genesis, they've got a pretty bad bite to them. So,
Yeah.
right?
Well, the thing about that, and I did not argue with her as a child.
Oh,
I was
sure,
a child. But as I grew up and I was studying science and biological sciences, I do think that snakes, they're scary if you happen upon one. You weren't expecting it and it slithers, then you're cold. It's scary. But honestly, they're very beautiful. If you know you're going to look at one, and when I walk the dogs and I go to that creek near our house and I look down on the hot summer days when I see those snakes down there, I enjoy looking at them. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And
but
I
they're
don't
still
want one
snakes.
on me.
No.
It's common though.
And in fact, aren't some of the most quote unquote beautiful ones the most poisonous also in a lot of cases? So,
Probably.
Yeah.
That and true with chicks, huh? Sam.
One of my kids, Sammy and Will, my oldest, their favorite stories is we were walking along a ditch. We used to go exploring when they were little, and I almost stepped on a snake, and my foot was going down. I saw it, and I was able to leap over it, but I yelled out the girl yell. And that's that's one of their favorite things ever. They always bring it up. Remember the time when Dad screamed like a girl? It was like, yeah!
You did that once when there was a bird that came and hit the building. We are in a room that's like floor to ceiling glass windows, and there was a sort of a large bird.
Yeah, he just hit right next to me.
Birds hit mirrored buildings all the time, and it's so sad. And there was a dead bird outside earlier this week, a baby one. And it had definitely hit the building and died. But this one was a big bird. And you were looking at your computer. I don't think you were in the room, Murphy.
Oh, I remember that. Yes, I remember that
and
well.
Sam
scared me, actually. But I thought it was producer Emily at that time who screamed because...
No, because it sounded like a girl.
Yeah. There you go, kids.
Anyway, we saw that happen. So you're not scared of birds. You're scared of just the sudden something's there that wasn't there before. Okay.
It's okay, Sam.
Everybody has weird fears, and we have loved you sharing yours with us.
Yeah.
Keep it coming. You can send us anything, anytime. MurphySamandJodi.com or on our Instagram and Facebook and YouTube pages.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.